Barry closed his laptop, preparing to attend to his vendor, who had just arrived with lunch on a dispatch bike. Smiling with satisfaction, he signed for the delivery. The dispatch rider handed over the package with a polite, "Enjoy your meal," before bowing slightly and riding off. It was lunchtime, and Barry couldn't have been happier. Food was one of his greatest joys, and he eagerly awaited his daily delivery. As he unwrapped the food, he smiled to himself, murmuring, "Unwrapped taste unleashes joy." Settling into his sofa chair, he opened the food and eagerly scooped 2 mouthfuls into his mouth. But something caught his attention, a faint movement in the plate. Frowning, he used his spoon to spread the rice, trying to see what it was. To his horror, a spider emerged, struggling to crawl out from the bottom of the plate. Its fat had melted into the food, but it still managed to move, its wings twitching. Barry jumped up, unsure of how to process what he was seeing. He bolted out of his room and called for his neighbor. "Come and see this," he shouted. Harry, his neighbor, rushed into the sitting room and stared at the plate. Letting out a sigh, he said, "Barry, you ordered a package, and they gave it to you. How many times have I told you about eating out all the time? Learn how to cook, you won't. Hire a cook, you won't. Marry a wife to help you manage your life, you still won't. Are you mocking me?" Barry asked, his expression growing serious. "Mock you? How can I mock you?" Harry replied, "You're a wealthy computer guru, you probably have millions, so why can't you take care of yourself? Go to the market, buy food, and cook, or hire a cook, or marry a wife. But no, you refuse." Barry let out an exasperated sigh. "You don't understand, Harry. Time is my problem. I've got so many clients and so much work to do. I don't have time for all that." Harry shook his head. "Ah, so you're reminding me now that, as a dry cleaner, I have no clients and spend all day sleeping at home. ABI? Harry, come on. Listen to me, Barry. Health is wealth. The funny thing is, you won't even go to a good restaurant. You just buy food from Madam G." "It's not always Madam G," Barry countered. "I recently switched to her. Before that, it was Madam Mauna, then Madam Doris, then Madam Teresa. Among all of them, Madam G is the cheapest, so I stuck with her." Harry rolled his eyes. "You don't have time to cook, you don't know how to cook, and you're eating the cheapest food you can find. If you end up in the hospital, what excuse will you give?" Barry didn't respond. He barely listened to Harry's complaints, dismissing them as the ramblings of someone who had too much free time. To Barry, all that mattered was making money. He spent his days glued to his laptop, working tirelessly to grow his business. Cooking, cleaning, and other household tasks were distractions he had outsourced. Harry handled his laundry, restaurants fed him, and once a month, Madame Fanny came to clean his house. One day, Barry met Ella, a diligent estate agent in 6. She was hardworking, ambitious, and financially successful. Like Barry, her sole focus was making money. Everything else was secondary. Ella and Barry were 2 peas in a pod. Neither knew how to cook, and they ordered their food every day. Even after Barry found a spider in his food, he continued buying meals from Madame G's kitchen because her food was the cheapest and, to him, the sweetest around. Soon, he introduced his wife, Bella, to Madame G's restaurant, where they purchased all their meals. Bella was thrilled with the kind of husband she had, one who shared her disinterest in cooking or doing house chores. Their kitchen lacked utensils, plates, pots, or any cooking gadgets. Together, they focused on working hard to build the wealth they dreamed of before starting a family. However, it wasn't long before trouble arose. Barry and Bella began visiting the hospital almost every weekend. Either one of them was vomiting or suffering from a strange illness. They experienced symptoms like bloody diarrhea, recurring fevers, and constant fatigue. They were confused and worried, especially when, for the second time in 1 month, they were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The doctor ordered a comprehensive test for both of them, and the results left them stunned. Barry and Bella were diagnosed with severe food poisoning. Immediately, suspicions arose in their minds. "Someone must be jealous of our success," they thought. Perhaps someone had injected poison into their food, or maybe the dispatch rider had been bribed to tamper with their meals. Determined to protect themselves, they decided to buy their food directly from Madame G's restaurant every morning. Bella took it upon herself to visit the restaurant personally, reasoning, "Let's see how the enemy can poison our food now. Will they do it mystically or spiritually?" Yet, despite their precautions, Bella was rushed to the hospital again that weekend, the third time in 6 weeks. One day, Bella turned on the television and was shocked by what she saw. A live news report was broadcasting an environmental officer's inspection of local restaurants. She quickly called Breny to watch. On screen, a hidden camera installed by a customer who had gotten lost on her way to the restroom showed horrifying footage from Madame G's kitchen. The scene was revolting. The kitchen resembled a horror movie set, a dimly lit room filled with thick cobwebs. The floor was filthy, and the cooks were visibly unclean. To make matters worse, rats roamed freely around the kitchen, scurrying in and out of an open drainage pit located right next to the cooking area. The customer who captured the footage was so appalled by what she saw that she rushed outside to vomit before heading straight to the environmental officer's office to report the situation. The authorities acted swiftly, conducting an investigation that confirmed the unsanitary conditions of Madame G's restaurant. They shut it down immediately. As Breny and Bella watched the news, the reality of their hospital visits became painfully clear. They exchanged glances, realizing they had spent months and a fortune in medical bills because of their negligence. Once discharged from the hospital, Bella wasted no time. She went to the market to purchase pots, utensils, and cooking gadgets. She began learning how to cook through online tutorials, and Breny joined her. He vowed never to eat at a restaurant unless he personally inspected the cleanliness of its kitchen. It has been 6 months since Breny and Bella started cooking at home. They now only eat at restaurants during emergencies and only after ensuring the establishment meets their cleanliness standards. During this time, they have saved a significant amount of money and have not had any hospital visits. This story is a wake-up call to young individuals who think cooking at home is a waste of time. Preparing home-cooked meals not only saves money but also protects your health. If you must eat out, ensure the place is clean and hygienic. What are your thoughts on this story? Share them in the comments section below and subscribe for more amazing stories on Brave Stories 24/7.